Wolfish shoots the ghostly door. Who's Borat? I don't know. What was the worst mistake I ever made in raiding? The worst mistake I ever made in raiding. Yeah, I know. I don't know if I've got the video. I might have. No, I don't, unfortunately. Okay, okay, all right. Little story. Little story. So, wait, where's that room that's got the screening in it? Whose room has the screen in it? Lucradages. Alright, Lucradages. Alright, let's RP it. Let's RP it. Let's RP it. Where's Lucro? The cinema. There it is. Alright. This is the cinema. Okay, I've got my snacks. Okay. A presentation. I'm going to tell you a story. Okay? Thank you, Boya, for sitting up front. I appreciate it. Okay. So, the worst mistake I ever made in raiding was during the Burning Crusade. During the Burning Crusade, once we reached Mount Hyjal, our healers in our guild, once we reached Archimonde, were complaining that Archimond's Doomfire, where you spread the room in Doomfire, and you got feared, and you would occasionally run through Doomfire, was causing them too much stress. And our other tank, a man called Erebus, who was the main tank and tank leader of me and him, was was hard to keep alive because the raid was taking so much damage from Doomfire. Okay? So that's the situation. The healers are complaining. And what used to happen in the guild I was in at the time, which was called Kill Count Lost, is we had our own tank channel in game where me and Erebus would chit-chat. And occasionally, the healing officer or the melee DPS officer or whatever would come into our channel. They were the only ones who were allowed to join other channels to express concerns that other teams were having. So, after we killed Archimonde, we did kill him. He was on a farm run. The healing officer joined the tank channel and said, guys, we're having a lot of trouble keeping up the idiots who play DPSs. Now, as we all know, DPSs are complete fucking morons. They're all black mages at heart. And they all decide to take as much damage as possible in the pursuit of sweet, sweet DPS. So, he came into our channel and said, is there anything you guys can do to take less damage so that we can focus more on the raid and not worry about you guys as much? Alright. So, it was the way we did it in Kill Count Lost is we would alternate who was main tank and off tank for the day. So, 1 week I'd tank Illidan, and I would tank Archimonde, and then next week Erebus would do that, and I'd do the shitty jobs, or I would sit out, and then vice versa. So we would just rotate it. So that meant, as Erebus just tanked Archimonde, next week it would be my turn to main tank Mount Hyjal, and therefore Archimonde. So I had the brilliant idea, my friends, to solve the healer woes. I was going to build myself a brand new set of gear. Remember in RPGs where you didn't just get like one set of gear, you actually had choices in it? So, I decided I was going to build myself a completely separate tank set, and I was going to call this set the Dodge set. And the idea was that I would basically be unhittable by the boss. He could swing his mighty fists at me as much as he wanted, and there was a ludicrously high chance that he would miss. And this would mean that I would need far less heals. This was genius, right? This has got no problems with it whatsoever. Perfect. Okay, so we go to, it's next week, it's next reset. We're going to Mount Hyjal, and I have built my set. I built it. I have been back to tier 5. I have pulled out some of these off-spec pieces of tier 6, and I have gone and farmed some trinkets from, like, heroic dungeons and things like that in order to make myself, I think I was something like 80% avoidance. So, 1 in 5 chance the boss could actually hit me. Okay. So we reach Archimonde, and I've been talking about this. I don't want there to be any illusions that I absolutely was bragging about my dodge set, fellas. I really was. And it gets to Archimond, and there I don it. My glorious, glorious dodge set with all my avoidance and my avoidance trinkets and everything you can imagine. And it's all enchanted to be agility and fish. So, we pull the boss for the first time, and it's working. Oh, it's working. I'm taking no damage until the healers eventually just kind of stopped healing me and just left druid hots on me. And then I got hit once and died. Because using some of this older gear, which had much more evasion stats on it, did reduce my HP quite considerably compared to what an ordinary tank just wearing the latest and greatest gear technology would probably have had. Probably dropped my HP by like 10,000 or something like that. And so Archimond hit very hard, and he just crushed me into the floor. No, I was uncrushable, but he smashed me into the floor because I simply did not have enough health. And I died. So we go again. And once again, it's working perfectly. I am just avoiding, I'm ducking and diving, but as many of you have probably guessed, a warrior tank who is not getting hit doesn't generate any rage. And so for the next 2 minutes, Archimond is just running around the place, just killing all these super cool DPSs as I'm taunting it, holding it for a few seconds, and then he's running around smashing everybody to pieces again. So Erebus pipes up at this point. He's a very serious raider, and he says, maybe this isn't working out, Mike, but I am a dick. And so I have spent the last week hard farming this set, and that must mean that I am correct. Because why would I have gone to all the effort of building this set and that be a mistake? That doesn't make any sense at all. So I must be correct, and in fact, it's everybody else who is wrong. And so I say, no, it's going to be fine. I will use a Nightmare Seed to buff my HP by 2,000. That should cover any problems. 3 more wipes I caused before I just put on my ordinary tank gear and we killed it immediately. And I would like to say that it was of my own volition that I decided to give up on my dodge set. I would like to say that I was the wiser man that day and decided that yes, this is the correct decision. It wasn't. The guild master joined the tank channel and in all caps said, "What the fuck is going on? Change it, whatever it is," and left the channel. And I believe that was my worst mistake in raiding. I believe that was my worst mistake in raiding. I should also point out, I'd only ever really spoken to our guildmaster about 3 times up until that point. About 3 times up until that point. And that was one of the occasions he spoke to me. How old were you then? I don't know, whatever the Burning Crusade was. To be fair, it did do what it was supposed to do. And I stand by that to this day. It did do what it was supposed to do. But it didn't work out particularly well.